talk about something hear me, that I noticed about women. And I noticed this a long time ago. It's like psychodrama. You ever heard that phrase psychodrama before? It's a phrase that I actually hadn't heard. I don't even know if those two words actually go together. I tried to ask ask Siri to look them up. What are you doing? Oh my God. I tried to ask Siri because I'm driving right now. But I'm going to have to look that up and see if those two words, are combined like that. But that's beside the point. We both know we all know what psycho is. A person that's psychotic, and we all know what drama means. The point I'm trying to get to is, you see, a lot of women are taking men through this type of mental roller coaster, which again, I like to call psychodrama, or, yeah. I noticed this a while back, man. But, I'm gonna tell you a story. See, I did some time, and I got put in a cell. This one cat, at a point in time of my incarceration, I had gotten in some trouble, and I got what they call as G4'd. I'm not going to get into it all that. It's just basically getting in trouble when you're behind bars. Yes, you get in trouble when you're already locked up. You've never been locked up before, but this. They put me in a cell with this guy, this white guy. His name was Jason. I've talked about this before, I think, in my own documentary, in my audio documentary, which is going to be part of my book, but that's neither here nor there. You've never heard it yet, because I haven't made that public yet. Only a select a few have. But anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. This guy that I was in the cell with, I noticed that he started doing little things, like he would act real timid around me. And some people you can tell that they're not acting, this is their character, or maybe so that you haven't realized that they're putting on an actual act, that they're not really that way. But you've probably noticed people, who just go to say women. If you ever noticed that, you can see how 1 minute that, they're a certain way, all nice, or how they could so-called be moody, like, women are sucking your dick, in the next minute calling the cops in the behind of in the backseat of a police car, handcuffed, start a fight with you, and which can lead to a trivial reasons why. But the main one is credit because of she's emotional, or she has somebody else there, so she's doing this type of thing because she wants your ass to get out the way, and that she wants to go be with that guy for the night, or she wants, it's a trivial. It could be, several things for the reason why, But you not you're not understanding this. You're thinking that, oh, she's just crazy, or she's just, whatever it fucking may be. But anyway, back to the story. The guy would do these things, like he would ask me, is it all right if he, did this or did that, or I can't really think of the things that he did, but it would just be little shit like, let me try to find an example. Let's search for one in my mind, that is. Like, I could tell him that it's alright for him to read a book of mine that he asked to read. And he'd keep on asking me day in and day out that, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay to read the book? And just little stuff like that, like, I gave him, a few bars of soap and stuff so he could, be able to shower and stuff, because he did, he wasn't the guy that was getting commissary, but he hustled. He would wash people's clothes and shit. He would wash my clothes too. He worked out the deal so that he could get money in his pocket, or I set up a deal with myself and I, myself and I, with him and I, he would just like, I didn't mind, because I like to get my stuff washed. Long as you have my stuff washed and pressed, because I had several units. I had 4 all-white units that I would wear for visit, because I would always get visit every Sunday, or Sunday or Saturday. A female friend of mine would always come and visit me, man. You understand what I'm saying? Every week. I did 2 years, which is, whatever, a whole lot of time, but she would come and see me. She came and saw me every fucking once a week, all for the whole 2-year mark, other than the time, the period of the second year, in the month of April, month period of time. Anyway, I got him to eventually admit to, little shit that he was doing. And he told me a little story, basically, that how he would manipulate his teachers in school into thinking that he was really slow. And they would just give up on him and give him the answers. They put him in special ed and all this kind of bullshit or whatever for certain classes. And he would act so ignorant that he didn't understand that they would just give up, and even the people, especially his counselors, his mentors, his study partners, whatever you want to call it, they would end up just doing his work or just pushing him along. I called him out on it one day, and he had admitted to it. It was funny. I had caught on to what he was doing after the first or second week of being in the setting. And the thing about it is, his whole demeanor changed. It was like he had a split personality. Okay? And he dropped that timid type of character. And he talked to me regularly. And he was putting on this character with people outside the day room or around the unit, so that they would, leave him alone and think that he's just a pushover. When in all actuality, he was just running game, or what we call it there, playing a role. Because come to find out, he was down there for some charges. if you know what kind of charges I'm talking about. But I got him to tell me the story. And I've been around a few guys like that, not saying that they were all my cellies, but that they had these kind of charges, and I would ask them to tell the story. And every one of them, I said I've been around 5 guys, can communicate with these guys, and all but one of them, story didn't match up, and he wasn't one of those guys. Now, am I saying that I'm just gonna biasly or 100% say that he's innocent? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, if you know how to study and read people, you understand me, and you're in an environment like that, you have to, even out here in the world, you have to get with, you understand? If not, you're gonna get fucking made an ass. And you're gonna be at a loss for a major part of your existence here. And a lot of that is a topic that got a lot of content creators I listen to. It's a big thing based upon females. You see, I met a female that was just like Jason. And I called her all on her shit. And I got her to drop that demeanor and everything. And oh, this person's psychotic, man. Highly psychotic. And is into the psychodrama type of deal. She actually spent some time with her family and slept with her sister's husband and been sleeping with her for some time and shit. But she plays this role like she didn't, you know, her sister had found naked pictures of her in her phone. And she finally ended up coming clean. You know, her sister badgered her, sat her down and got her to admit. Not too much that she got her to admit. You see, that's the thing about it. Because she didn't have to never admit about it. And I told her about this. Why does she want you to admit to something that, you know, the evidence clearly shows that it's present? You know, it's evident. It's a fact of an act that was done. You know, she almost tried to deny. She did try to deny it to me, but the day before, and then the next day, her sister, she had told me that I said no before she left out, and got on the road, left the city or whatnot. It was basically her way of having a little bit of psychodrama before she left. She caused an uproar. She left out. Kind of like in the end of The Great Gatsby, when what's his name, Tony or Tommy McGuire, whatever the fuck his name is, Tony McGuire, I forget his name. If I said it wrong, my man, whatever. He's narrating that movie, and he's talking about that fucking. If you ever saw The Great Gatsby, well, you know what I'm talking about. He's talking about the guy and the girl, like how they just destroy people's lives and fuck up shit and just retreat back to their own little world. That's what he said. But basically, that's just what it is. You know, and you'll get a chance to hear my documentary, and you'll get to know more about this person and why this all plays a part. And this is actually going to be part 2 of my documentary, but you would need to hear part 1. But the funny thing is, I didn't know of the manosphere or all this hypergamy and all this shit. I had started my documentary last year. I believe it was early 2018. And when I was out there in Delaware, and when I stumbled upon all of this woman nature shit, I was so shocked because I had started my documentary and I finished it. And it was lined up with all the things that these guys are talking about. And I just was basically going off of my life experience and what the fuck was going on and what I was seeing. And I called it distractions. That was the first segment of my audio documentary. But anyhow, I want to wrap this up, but I just want to say that I call it psychodrama. And hats off to CRP. Because they're actually who I got that from, man. I'm not here to jack anybody. But I would always call women out on that shit, say that they're doing something. And this is one of the reasons why she still talks to me. And in fact, it's a lady that's a woman that's in my pocket, so I like to say. And if you know anything about a Mac or a pimp mentality, they understand psychodrama. You understand me? And so-called a red pill man does as well. MGTOW man does as well. Ignore. It's a few more names that I don't really fully understand what ignore man is. I haven't really looked into that a whole lot, but I know that when I first started watching, one of the first guys was what's his name? I forget his name. Mr. Limbaugh. He would talk about the ignored man, and I just figured that it was just a smart individual, a classy individual, almost like a Mac, individual that has this higher, intellect, also intuitiveness about themselves, discernment about themselves, that is abnormal, that, that swiftly, and knows how to finesse their way through, and that is doing so. But anyway, I wanna put this on YouTube, so just that it goes out there, and I don't know what'll be of this, but I'm basically just talking about this psychodrama or dramatic activity that oh man, that women have put me through and a lot of men through. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. And it's like the madness knows no rain, like no end. You know what I mean? No end of its rain. You know what I mean? It's raining force. It just has no end. The rain has no end. It's fucking crazy, man. But anyway, man, I'm gonna stop right there, man. Thanks. If you listen, I appreciate you, man. Any fucking way. Thank you, CRP, for giving a name to this type of mentality and these actions that I noticed that not just with women, that men carry out as well, but it's a big thing with women. And it's funny because a lot of this shit gets credit to being hypergamy. You know what? I think it's more than that. I think it's just these people are psychotic. These people they call them narcissists or narcissists. They're psychopaths, man. And they don't really give a damn about anything. They're having fun with it. Hey, I would encourage people to go check out CRP. This was on his Patreon. What does he say? The cocktease. But I encourage you to stick around too for a little bit more of what I can show as well. That that speaks on this matter and speaks on different matters. Even though he didn't really touch on it. It's just different shit that I want to talk about. That I saw that this was a psycho matter before I even knew what the fucking word narcissism meant. I'm not that smart of a fucking person. I use a lot of my logic, you know what I'm saying, in my life. And that's how I just started to see what the fuck is going on out here. But I like to read and I like to look up words and shit and do all that, you know what I'm saying? Basically get my knowledge or get my game up, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I believe life on the highest fortitude really is all about. In my own belief system. Just at least where I'm at in my mind. Understand money and all this shit you need. These resources, phones, cars, all this other shit, which are tools to help you for whatever it may be, but I believe I call them distractions, which I would like to share in my first documentary with anyone that is listening or have listened to this and is intrigued by it and would like to hear more. Let me know, but if not, either way it goes, I'm still going to post it. Forgive me if I use any words here to try to define what I'm trying to say in description, or to help me in description.